In this week's video, I want to tell you all of my first time achievements and fails in my life. The first time I went skiing was at Mount Hotham in Victoria when I was about 8 years old. Now, my parents first got me and my younger sister just to try out the skis on the little baby slope that was like this steep. And I was like, yeah, I got this, I'm gonna do it. And I convinced my parents to let me go on the chairlift. And this was fun up in the air. Like, me being 8 years old, I was so excited, I was so ready to go. And I got to the top, and on the right hand side was the sort of the beginner's level. And then there was the steeper slope on the left. And it looked so much more fun with the one on the left, so I was like, I'm going through this one. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going down, I'm having a blast, and I'm not falling over. And I was surprised by this because I was a very uncoordinated child. I was coming down the hill and I was so excited, like, yeah. But then I realized nobody taught me how to slow down. I was going way too fast, and I tried to level myself out a little bit to slow down, and I kamagutsa face planted into a tree. And I was so freezing cold from the snow that I was pretty much numb everywhere. So I got up with a big smile on my face and was like, let's do it again. The first time I went ice skating was at Macquarie. I think it's like a shopping centre in Sydney. It was on a school excursion. I was very excited about it, but me being my uncoordinated self at 10 years old, I had the skates on and I was ready, and I go out onto the ice. I go like 2 steps forward and I go backwards, and I hit the back of my head on the ice, and there we go. That's my first ever concussion. The first time I went water skiing. Alright, this was just as a fail as the first time I went ice skating. I was in the water with the little ski thing, and every time they would move the boat, I would just face plant forward into the water. So, first time, fail. Second time, fail. Third time, fail. The first time I went abseiling was when I was about 15 years old, and this was on a camp thing that the school had organised for me to go. Like, not everybody at the school was going, only me. And it was at Monowai in New Zealand, and I was absolutely terrified. You know that the rope is there. You know that you're harnessed up, nothing bad is going to happen. But your natural human instinct is telling you everything but that. It's telling you no. It's telling you don't do it. And the first time I just let go and I leant back, it was all good after that. It was so much fun. I absolutely loved abseiling. And at this camp we did rock climbing as well. Now, I had never been rock climbing before, and I wasn't the fittest teenager, but I was very extremely flexible. So rock climbing was something that I was really good at because I could put my legs in places where other people's couldn't. So one leg could be here and the other one could be up here. At this camp we also did whitewater rafting, which was fun. Really fun. Apart from fracturing my ankle when I was about 10 years old, my first broken bone was when I was 17. And I broke my legs, my sternum, my back, my wrist, my neck, and if the skull counts as a bone, I broke that as well. And let's count that as the world's worst hangover, because that hangover lasted 5 weeks in intensive care. Thank you to myself for doing it. And after my accident, the first time I ever fell out of my wheelchair was when I was about 19 years old. And I was out down the street somewhere in Parks and pushing along in my manual wheelchair, and I think I was going just a little bit too fast because I was on a downhill slope slightly, and there was a tiny little step, like this much, And because I was going that little bit too fast, it was enough to just stop, jolt me, and come straight out face planting into the concrete. One of the things that they teach you at wheelchair school is when you fall out of your wheelchair, you are not supposed to catch yourself. You're not supposed to put your arms out. You're not supposed to try and brace it, because that will just make things worse. But it is a natural human instinct that if you're gonna fall, you're gonna try and stop yourself. So I ended up hurting my hand, skimming my elbow, and ended up with a nasty concussion from kissing the concrete and hurting my head. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you have any stories that are like mine that you would like to share, please put them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next week.